Democratic Party's vice presidential nominee's military record was under assault from Republicans, attacks reminiscent of those leveled 2 decades earlier on Senator John Kerry during his run for the White House. Democratic strategists who lived through the Kerry onslaught, however, say the political landscape has changed so much since 2004 that they do not believe the attacks will land with the same resonance. Former President Donald Trump's campaign responded to the selection earlier this month of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as the Democratic vice presidential nominee by attempting to pick apart his military record. Walz served for 24 years in the Minnesota National Guard, but Trump's campaign has criticized him for using imprecise language to describe how he carried a weapon in war and when he retired from service. Kamala Harris's campaign has pushed back against the attacks, but some Democrats worry Republicans might succeed in turning Walz's military service into a liability. Others accused Republicans of attempting to "swift boat" Walz, a reference to the 2004 campaign and a sign of the campaign's continued relevance. Let's explain the origin of swift boating. Kerry's campaign was caught flat-footed in the summer of 2004 by attacks that questioned whether the presidential candidate had earned as many commendations as a commander of a swift boat during the Vietnam War. Kerry received 3 Purple Hearts, a Silver Star and a Bronze Star. By 2004, America was involved in 2 wars, in Iraq and Afghanistan, following the September 11, 2001, terror attacks. Kerry, a senator from Massachusetts, had made his military service a centerpiece of the hard-fought presidential primary campaign, to the point of starting his nomination speech by saying he was reporting for duty. Republicans sought to undermine that selling point by raising questions about his Vietnam War service. An outside political group, the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth, led the anti-Kerry campaign, spending millions of dollars on hard-hitting television ads. One spot featured men who served in Vietnam questioning Kerry's leadership and heroism, as well as his fitness to lead the country. Another blasted Kerry's participation in later anti-war protests. The ads were effective. Some in Kerry's campaign wanted to respond more forcefully, while others wanted to take a more cautious approach, concerned that focusing on the attacks would elevate them. The campaign pushed back in the press but spent little money on costly television ads to address the controversy. That trepidation ensured that the public began to question the candidate's ability to handle national security matters. Multiple veterans who served with Kerry refuted the accusations in 2004. The Trump campaign has sought to take a similar approach in criticizing Walz's service. Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, has led the charge, accusing Walz of lying about his record. Vance, a Marine veteran, also accused Walz of abandoning his unit before it deployed to Iraq. The Harris-Walz campaign has pushed back against the criticism. Walz did not see combat during his tenure in the Minnesota National Guard. Walz's first congressional campaign in March 2005 issued a statement saying he planned to run despite a possible mobilization that might send his soldiers to Iraq. According to the Guard, Walz retired from service in May 2005. 3 months later, the Army issued a mobilization order for Walz's unit. It was sent to Iraq in March 2006. The Harris-Walz campaign has pushed back against the Republican characterizations that Walz retired to avoid deploying to a war zone. Walz achieved the rank of Command Sergeant Major, but because he did not finish certain coursework before his retirement after 24 years in the National Guard, he retired as a Master Sergeant, a lower rank, for benefits purposes. It is unclear how effective these GOP attacks will be. Democrats who worked on the Kerry campaign said they are likely not going to be as potent because so much has changed since 2004. The main reason, campaigns are now flush with cash, making it easier to fight back. In 2004, Kerry and President George W. Bush, the Republican nominee, took public funding, receiving $74.6 million each from the government, barring them from private donations. The decision handcuffed a campaign that wanted to focus on its preferred message. The Harris-Walz campaign doesn't have those constraints. Public funding is a thing of the past, and Harris's operation raised a staggering $310 million in July. The Democratic Campa, IGN, aided by what President Joe Biden collected before he stepped aside, is expected to raise well over $1 billion. Republicans have largely hit Walz on social media and in interviews. Such broadsides may reach the GOP base but not the independent voters who will decide the election. Walz is also not the presidential nominee, as Kerry was. Voters tend to focus on the candidates at the top of a ticket, something Trump himself has noted. And then there is the issue of Trump. Could attacks on Walz's 24 years of military service boomerang on the Republican standard-bearer? The former president has been criticized criticized for avoiding military service over claims he suffered from bone spurs. Despite the differences in the two campaigns, veterans of Kerry's run said Democrats should take to heart a lesson they learned the hard way. They waited too long to counterattack. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comments section, and for more US election related news, please subscribe.